Back in 1994, Neverland and Graceland collided when Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley revealed they had tied the knot. What came next can only be described as a tabloid frenzy, and the press became fixated on the King of Pop's union with the King of Rock and Roll's daughter. Many people speculated that their marriage was nothing more than a publicity stunt. Today, we'll be taking a deep dive into one of Hollywood's most talked about couples and their imperfect love story. But before we get into it, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of bacon jerky, chicken and waffles popcorn, and green apple licorice. Their first encounter was in 1975 when 7-year-old Lisa Marie briefly met 17-year-old Michael at his concert. She told Rolling Stone that he tried to get in touch with her years later when she was a teenager by reaching out to her lawyer with a message. He wants to meet you. He thinks you're very pretty. Lisa Marie said she blew it off because she was in a relationship with Chicago-born musician Danny Keough at the time. She told Rolling Stone, "I was completely in love with Danny, and I thought Michael was weird, and I had no interest in meeting him."
Immediately, I didn't want to meet him. I thought he was a freak.
Lisa Marie married Danny in 1988, and they welcomed a son and a daughter. One day, a friend called and told her Michael wanted to listen to a demo Lisa Marie recorded. Lisa Marie wasn't interested in signing with his record label, but she was persuaded to meet with him anyway. They were introduced at their mutual friend's house in 1992, and Lisa Marie said Michael was very upfront with her off the bat. He explained that he knew how the public perceived him, but he wanted her to see who he really was. Lisa Marie was surprised by his authenticity. She said he was very funny and was even cursing. She decided that he was misunderstood, and they became friends since Lisa Marie was still legally married to Danny at the time. In 1993, the accusations against Michael regarding a child were made public, and his world imploded. Lisa Marie said he called her right away to tell his side of the story. She told Rolling Stone she believed him and thought the allegations were nothing more than an attempt to extort him. While he was under attack by the media, Lisa Marie grew more protective over him. She said, "I got into this whole 'I'm going to save you' thing. I thought all that stuff he was doing, philanthropy and the children thing and all this stuff, was awesome, and maybe we could save the world together." In January 1994, Michael settled with the accuser's family out of court, and criminal charges were later dropped due to lack of evidence. At this point, Lisa Marie was still married to Danny, but Michael was calling her a lot and confiding in her. She started spending more time with him, and she eventually told Michael she wasn't happy in her marriage. Lisa Marie told Rolling Stone that from there, Michael began courting her by sending her flowers and candies. She added, "I left my marriage probably quicker than I would have, and that was probably one of the bigger mistakes of my whole life." She and Danny reportedly obtained a quickie divorce in the Dominican Republic on May 6, 1994, and 20 days later she and Michael got married during a 15-minute ceremony in a small Dominican town. The civil judge that officiated their ceremony later told Entertainment Weekly that when asked, "Do you take this woman to be your wife?" Michael jokingly responded in a high-pitched whisper, "Why not?" Following the ceremony, they secluded themselves in Trump Tower, and Lisa Marie told Oprah Winfrey that Michael wanted them to have a baby right away. Her mom Priscilla went as far as to suggest that Michael wanted to get Lisa pregnant to ensure his connection to Elvis's legacy. Priscilla added, "There's something very calculating and manipulative about how he does things." Lisa later said she wanted to have a baby as well, but she wanted to make sure it was the right time. She was also worried that if she did have a child with him and they broke up, she would get locked into a child custody battle. They didn't publicly confirm their marriage until August 1994. In her statement, 26-year-old Lisa Marie said she would now be known as Mrs. Lisa Marie Presley Jackson, and she pledged to dedicate her life to being Michael's wife. They honeymooned in Budapest, Hungary, and the Orlando Sentinel reached out to employees from the hotel the couple stayed at. The employees stated Michael and Lisa Marie shared a suite with separate bedrooms. That wasn't the end of the media circus. The Washington Post insinuated that Michael only got married to rehab his image. Other outlets claimed the union was orchestrated by the Church of Scientology, which Lisa Marie had been a part of since childhood, to recruit Michael into the church. Some claimed Lisa Marie was using him to jumpstart her music career and that Michael was using the publicity to increase his record sales. To quiet the haters, Michael's manager suggested they share an on-camera smooch at that year's MTV VMAs. Lisa Marie told Rolling Stone, "I thought it was stupid. All of a sudden, I became part of a PR machine." She told Oprah that Michael was a master at manipulating the media because that's how he was raised.
And he became very good at making and creating and puppeteering and manipulating to some degree.
While the media reported on his bizarre behavior and his love for his exotic animals, Lisa urged him to be his true self, which meant she wanted him to show the world that he was a regular guy that enjoyed drinking and cursing. She also begged him to speak with his naturally deep voice. By December 1994, there were already reports of trouble in paradise. Lisa Marie issued a statement calling the media irresponsible for spreading false rumors and said they were happily married and very much in love. The following year, she and Michael stripped down for his "You Are Not Alone" music video. Despite their on-camera chemistry, the public still wasn't convinced that their marriage was the real deal. During a joint interview with Diane Sawyer, they insisted they consummated their marriage.
He's amazing. I really admire him. I respect him. I admire him. I'm in love with him. And no, we don't sleep in separate bedrooms. Thank you very much.
But some loud-mouthed employees of Neverland Ranch said otherwise. A former administrative assistant at the property told Inside Edition that Michael would get a hold of some panties, spray them with perfume, and throw them on the floor to make it look like Lisa Marie had been in the bedroom. The former employee added, "But to my knowledge, she was never in there. She was either in the Rose Room or had slept on the guest beds." It was after their interview with Diane Sawyer that things really started to go wrong. Lisa said there were times when she had no idea where he was. She was only privy to his whereabouts if it was reported in the news. Lisa Marie told Oprah she didn't suspect Michael had a substance problem at first, though she did recall one scary incident that took place in December 1995. While rehearsing in New York for an HBO special, he collapsed on stage and was rushed to the hospital. Lisa Marie also talked about the times she would pick him up from a certain doctor's office and he would be incoherent. She also stated he always asked her about when her dad passed away, how it happened, and where. Elvis passed away on August 16, 1977, from a heart attack at the age of 42. He was found on the bathroom floor of his Graceland mansion. Although prescription medication was found in his body, the New York Times confirmed that substances were ruled out as the direct cause of his passing. 9-year-old Lisa was at home at the time of his passing and saw her father's lifeless body. Years later, she wrote in a blog that it was a sight she never wanted to see again. Lisa Marie alleged that after asking questions about how her dad transitioned, Michael would tell her, "I feel like I'm going to end up the same way." Michael was scheduled to perform a medley of his greatest hits at the 1995 MTV VMAs. Lisa Marie said that as the performance date grew closer, she hadn't seen or talked to him for about 6 weeks. His team reached out to her and said it was a big moment for him and they needed her to show up. Lisa agreed to attend, but only if she didn't have to pose with him on the red carpet. His team obliged, but once they got to the venue, Lisa said she was led right onto the red carpet. She told Rolling Stone she was very upset and felt like she was being used. Then she was told Michael would sing a song to her and he had a special surprise. But after seeing the look on her face from the stage, Michael allegedly said he changed his mind about serenading her. According to Lisa, the last straw was when Michael gave an interview and falsely claimed that she told him that her dad had a nose job. They separated in December 1995. According to Michael's longtime hair and makeup artist Karen Faye, Michael intended to file first, but Lisa Marie begged him not to. Once he agreed to hold off on filing, Lisa Marie reportedly blindsided him by filing behind his back in January 1996 after less than 2 years of marriage. Looking back on their marriage, she told Rolling Stone that she was in love with him, but she wasn't sure if the feeling was mutual. She said, "I don't know how much he can access love, really. I think as much as he can love somebody, he might have loved me." But the feeling was mutual, according to Michael's nephew, Taj. In a tweet about an unrelated issue, Taj wrote that his uncle made it clear over the years that he really loved Lisa Marie and that the love was genuine. Taj added he felt she was his equal, didn't want his money, and could truly understand his life. Lisa Marie alleges that she and Michael attempted to reconcile for the next 4 years, although shortly after their divorce was finalized, he married Debbie Rowe in 1996, and they welcomed 2 children. Michael had a 3rd child with an unidentified surrogate. Lisa Marie eventually moved on and got married 2 more times. She also welcomed twin girls with husband number 4, Michael Lockwood, whom she married in 2006. After the 2008 birth of her twins, Lisa Marie wrote in the foreword of a book about addiction that a doctor prescribed her opioids for pain and she became dependent on them. However, her 4 children became her purpose to stay sober. The last time she spoke to the King of Pop was in 2005 when he was acquitted of new child-related allegations. Lisa Marie told Oprah that Michael asked if she still loved him. Her response was, "I'm indifferent." Apparently, Michael didn't like her answer, and Lisa said he proceeded to cry on the phone. Lisa also alleged that the final part of their conversation was Michael stating he felt someone was trying to end his life to get a hold of his music catalog and his estate. On June 25, 2009, while in England, Lisa Marie was having what she called the strangest day of her life. She went to the studio to record music, but spent most of the day in tears, and she couldn't understand why. She told Oprah that later that evening, in an effort to stop crying, she went upstairs and crawled into bed to watch TV. An hour later, she got a text from John Travolta that Michael had passed away at the age of 50. The cause of his passing was later determined to be acute propofol intoxication. As she turned on the news, she was confronted with the images of Michael's body leaving his home. Lisa recognized the area because her dad owned a residence across the street from that same house many years ago. The following day, she took to her MySpace blog to write, "The person I failed to help is being transferred right now to the LA County Coroner's Office for his autopsy. All my indifference and detachment that I worked so hard to achieve over the years has just gone into the bowels of hell. And right now, I am gutted." The birthdays and anniversaries of the passing of her dad and Michael were extremely difficult days for her. After several years, she was ready to move forward and pick up the pieces. In 2016, she filed for divorce from her 4th husband. Although she attempted to keep her addiction fairly private, details about her battle for sobriety emerged in her divorce paperwork. Sadly, she was confronted with more tragedy in July 2020 when her son Benjamin Keogh passed away at the age of 27 from a self-inflicted wound. Her estranged husband told the court he worried she would relapse following her son's passing. In an August 2022 essay published in People magazine, Lisa Marie wrote how the loss of her son destroyed her and she couldn't get over the guilt and grief. On January 12, 2023, it was announced that Lisa Marie suffered cardiac arrest and passed away at a local hospital. She was only 54. She had been the sole heir of her father's estate, and her 3 daughters will inherit Graceland, where Lisa Marie will be laid to rest next to her father and her son. Perhaps Michael and Lisa Marie's marriage was a small blip in the timeline of pop culture history. However, it's more clear than ever that their love was real. One can only hope that both of them are now experiencing the peace they were desperately searching for here on Earth.